goodness. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Well, the Doja Cat.
First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning. Well, the Doja Cat.
It is a Monday, for sure. November 10th, 2025. We here. We may not be ready for you, but we're here.
Man.
I said pull the Doja Cat. Welcome to a fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All Beeee, buddy to Gawd.
Hey.
Off of a very long weekend. Both very, very tired. But
tired, boss.
That's what we're here for, to get up, get hyped, get out and get something. Appreciate y'all getting up with us this morning. Y'all up early. Okay, Michelle Moreno, good morning to you. Larry Keister gives us a happy, marvelous Monday. Pop says good Monday morning and mad love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you, Pops. Mama Guy gives us a good morning, fam. RG got that I ain't no joke. Used to let the mic smoke. What's up, morning, y'all? Sean McCarthy says, morning, First Sky Nation. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Very, very, very eventful weekend. We can definitely say that. Judy Prindler gives us a good morning. Good morning to you. Appreciate you coming in. Yeah, lots to talk about. And of course, we have our special guest. Love it when we politicking with P. Love it when Precious McKesson comes on. So
about time.
Yeah, man. She got lots to catch us up on for sure, and we'll get into it. But first and foremost, long weekend. We tired. Shout out to Outkast getting inducted in the Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Shout out to Salt.
The biggest.
Yeah, man.
The biggest.
Quite the weekend. There's also a lot going on this weekend. Of course, Biden came to town for the what is it? The Jim Nelson Gala? Ben Nelson Gala. Yeah. I don't get invited to them galas, so I don't know. I don't really know what's going on there.
James, yes.
James, Jim. somebody's gala, but no, it went down. We'll hear more about it from Precious, of course, who was there. President Biden came to town. I was kind of surprised about Joe Biden coming to town. I thought after the election, we know he had some health problems and stuff like that. So seeing him touring around, I'm like, okay. I guess they wasn't. I guess the reports of his demise was greatly exaggerated. He seems to be doing all right around here. So that's what's up.
Yeah, him and Trump's cognitive ability ain't as far as they try to make it seem.
Okay, all right. We'll see how the speech went. We'll ask who was there, see how the speech went. RG said a long and cold weekend. Most definitely a long and cold weekend. It's a cold day on a Monday, bro. 25 degrees or something crazy.
Is it flurrying out there yet?
And I don't appreciate it. Yeah, it started up. Not in my area, weirdly, but I've been hearing other parts of Omaha have been getting the flurries. Mark Manor posted it's coming down. So yeah, missed me for the moment, but I think it's gonna get me soon for sure. Marlon Harrison says, good morning, First Sky family, and happy motivational Monday. Marlon Harrison turns out to be the man about town. He was at the Empowerment Network event over the weekend, so we'll have to dig in and ask you about that and hear about that, how that went. Also, Brother Pena's in the chat. Give us a good morning. What's going on, Brother Pena? He said Ben Nelson Gala. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Yes. I'll get my tux out for the next one. For sure. We're going to get it fired up. But before we get there, how you feeling over there, buddy? What's going on with you?
I'm tired, boss. I'm tired. Definitely was a long weekend. Just juggling everything going on. Of course, celebrating definitely, as you mentioned, the rock and roll induction. Definitely shout out to the whole Dungeon family, in particular, Outkast, man. Just cut from our own cloth, man. Just a couple of musicians, artists, man, trying to funk up the world. Yeah.
Yep. Getting started in small rooms first.
Man, yeah, beautiful night. So but beyond that, man, juggling, staying up with work. Yeah, doing the thing, man. How about you?
Okay.
Yeah, you had a pretty beautiful weekend, sir.
Sure. Yeah. Stuff that has to do with what we got going on here in Omaha, of course. Went to a conference about art and finance and how that affects our area. Did a lot of work over the weekend and to get ready for what's going on this coming up week. doing an article on the My Omaha film for Omaha magazine. So just kind of working, getting caught up, man, and getting set up so we can get ready for this winter. Winter is coming,
Man,
and yeah, just just that type of thing, and also family. Also checking in with family. It's always something that I do, especially on Family Day Sunday. Check in with family around the country that don't live in town, and check on the ones that do live in town, and just make it a day where I make that the priority. So for those of you that try to get a hold of me on a Sunday, the phone's usually off. Phone's usually off on Sunday. I kind of take a little break from digital when I get towards the weekend, so I can spend that time with catching up with fam and so on. So that's what happened there. Let us know what went down on your weekend as well. Like I said, there was so many things that went down over the weekend. I expect to hear a lot about all the things that happened. So we talked about the Empowerment Network event, of course. We talked about the Ben Nelson Gala that just happened. President Joe Biden in town, so on and so forth. Lots going on. But what else is going on around town? I saw Mark Manor. I saw the Faint was in town, so I'm mad I missed that show. So some good entertainment happening too. A shout out to Mark. Appreciate you. Good morning to you. And he talks about it in Omaha Buzz. I highly encourage you to go check out his what do you got it on? It's on
Substack.
Substack. Yeah. Go check out his page. You can go to Mark Manor's page and find it, I'm sure. And just hear about some of the music events and stuff that's coming up. He's not just talking about stuff coming up, but hitting some of these events and showing showing people on stage and what's going on. So I appreciate that very much too. Lots of good shows this weekend. Also, Kimber Snipes is in the chat saying good morning to you. Appreciate you. I know that you were out at Ben Nelson Gala too and some other things this weekend. Let us know how your weekend was and what went down. Appreciate that. Brother Pena says working people working, but it's a nice fundraiser event. Talking about Ben Nelson Gala, that's what's happening. Majid Miller Jenkins says went to the Sundance protest, Sudanese protest. Sundance went to the Sudanese protest at the Capitol. Did the distro kickoff and had a barber down at the mutual aid dishing out free cuts to the people. That's what's up.
Okay. Barber
Roots. There you go.
Yeah.
Anthony Rogers right in the chat saying peace and blessings from California land. The Democrats are cowards, and that's all.
Man, okay. Come in swinging.
Just come in swinging, bro. Just come in name calling. We don't like that. Come on in. Let us know what's happening. Yep, Mark Banner, Omaha Buzz. Please check it out. RG says needed a blogger community turnout at the Black Agenda Alliance mental health event at Mandela. Most definitely, we did that. I actually hosted that event as well. I think you can catch that on Facebook. We'll have to find out where the Facebook Live went. But yeah, that was part of what I did this weekend was host this mental health event at the Mandela Elementary, and it was profound. There was some real serious experts on the panel, and we got a lot of discussion in about what we can do. Get some ammo, some jewels, some gems that we can use to help some of our loved ones during this holiday season coming up, because we're seeing people getting mentally taxed just because of what's going on, and then the holidays exacerbated, of course. So we had a good discussion about that, and some good questions, some good tips and things. So we'll look for that and see if we can repost that on Friends for you to check out as well. So yeah, those are some of the things that's been going down. Marlon says y'all might have to hire me ASAP. Y'all booking agent. I met a couple of people on Saturday who would like to come on First Sky Omaha. Okay, that's what's up. Yeah. Let us know. We actually do have a little bit of help in that direction too. So shoot us some email and we'll get that to the person that's helping book and make it happen.
Yeah, you've already actually helped to get a few people on this season. So, appreciate you calling our co-host. Thank you. Appreciate you. Best community in the world.
Yes, we do have a fire chat. That's what's up. So again, just want to give Outcast a shout out.
Yeah.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction, man, that went down. Also, Salt and Pepper got inducted as well. And I didn't see it, but I heard that they got up there and kind of called out the record industry about not owning their masters and the problems that they still got going on. So, yeah.
Missy was out there too, man. So, yeah. It's
That's what's up. Anybody check out the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee show? Let us know. Also, Lettucey is coming to town. I want to just a few little haps is going down. This is coming up November 13th. So I don't know if you guys have heard this, but the Crown Tour is happening. She's gonna be at Stillhouse,
That's dope.
and yeah, I've been hearing a lot of people that like this particular artist. She gets down, and if you didn't know she was coming, because it felt like it was kind of a low key rollout here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw it I saw it like a month ago, and then I didn't see nothing until maybe a few days ago. So yeah, low key rollout, but yes, she's in town. Let us see, is in town November 13th. If you want to see some good artistry, definitely check her out. The Crown Tour is happening here at Steelhouse. So that's about all I have right now. It is a Monday, so I don't have a whole lot of haps. But we do have some things to talk about. And again, if you're just joining us, we have special guest Precious McKesson coming in a little bit later on in the show. So we highly encourage you to do us a favor, share the show, and stick around for the guest. Also, if you're on YouTube, do us a favor and share the link. Make sure that you come in and get your questions ready. And yeah, let's be able to get caught up here with what's going on. We'll be politicking with P once again. So shout out to Precious McKesson. And we do have some things that we got to jump into today. Some news. I see you guys in the chat already kind of tapping in. Let's get to today's thread. Buddy, what's going on today?
Yeah, actually, I do want to share some thoughts. I haven't really talked to you about this before the show, but you kind of mentioned some things that were actually bringing back some thoughts I had over the weekend as far as holiday season approaching. Of course, you mentioned, family. You mentioned, Family Day on Sunday, and just dealing with family, getting back with family, staying connected with family, and especially the mental health aspect, seasonal depression, and things like that. They're very real, very real. And some of the things we'll be talking about, i.e. travel, SNAP, a lot of the other pressures that are going on, just kind of questioning, man, how are people feeling? How are people's holiday spirits? That's kind of the question, and maybe a little bit of the thread for today. As I'm watching TV and things like that over the weekend, I'm seeing commercials and just starting to see more of the holiday messaging and narrative and commercials come out. But we got this blackout supposed to be coming out in a couple days, couple weeks, I guess. With the 22nd, they're calling for this national blackout. Yeah, how are we feeling? How are we feeling about these things? So again, let us know in the chat. Where's your holiday spirit? Yeah. Oh, okay. I see you, Marlon. November 13th is your birthday. Okay, happy early birthday. Yeah. But in the meantime, between time, we do have some news to get into, especially something for our people out in Lincoln, man. Apparently, a school got vandalized over the weekend. Usually, kind of small news, but given the nature, especially politically in the nation, and the fact that Nebraska has the most active hate groups in the nation, something to look out for. So definitely, asking our people out in Lincoln, are you okay? What's going on, man? Yeah, as you see it, man, on the playground. So we'll talk about that a little bit. Also, elsewhere in Lincoln, shout out to those who are going down to the Capitol, letting their minds be free, letting their voices be heard. Of course, we talked about the housing study that Senator McKinney put out last week, but also he's still dealing with housing, still fighting the tower, if you will. The Nebraska Urban Affairs Committee on Friday had a hearing about the bed bug situation. Again, we're still keeping our eyes on that, still, again, fighting and look to raise support for our brothers and sisters in the towers. Again, shout out to the likes of Brother Hassani Lee, who led the charge in our perspective for that. Again, fighting for himself, for his father to get out of those OHA towers. But again, still many residents dealing with those situations. Shout out to Melissa Wright on the report for that. Also, this coming out of WWT, Biden coming through, as Paul mentioned, for the Ben Nelson Gala. Did anybody go through that? Definitely love to hear a first take from that. Again, a Democratic Gala. Dems kind of making some waves recently over the weekend. Also with this SNAP situation, we'll definitely be getting into that because that pendulum has been going back and forth. Of course, the courts are chiming up, going all the way to the Supreme Court. They're chiming up and actually blocking some things, but now it might be opening up, it might be blocking. I don't know what's going on, man. I might need some of you to go ahead and check your account, check your balance to see what's really going on. Go straight to the source. Let us know, man. So we'll be diving into that. Also, I'm getting some conflicting, contradicting reports from our news outlets as far as what's going on with the airport. So again, speaking of holiday season, anybody planning on any travel, anybody getting impacted by these shutdowns that swept the nation over the weekend as well. Again, Omaha World Herald is saying that there has been cancellations and shutdown, but Channel 3 saying shutdowns not so much at Epley Airfield. So again, conflicting reports. Want to go straight to the people. Are you planning on flying out this weekend or this holiday? Let us know. Let us know what's going on with that. And then, of course, as I mentioned, the SNAP situation, it looks like the bipartisan deal may be coming in, but also shout out to Marianne Williams on Friends Up, actually calling out, saying some Democrats might be reversing that decision and stepping back. There's a phone number to call out. Let's try to clarify that and more. Again, we're here for the next 2 hours, man. First Guy Omaha trying to figure it out live. Again, chime up, let your mind be free, let your voice be heard. In the meantime, between time, Paul B, about 15 minutes into this thing.
Mm-hmm.
What's the word?
Yeah, appreciate it. In the chat, a few things going on, man. Anthony Rogers Wright reminded me Talib Kweli came out in Omaha as well. He says BKMC was awesome. Not nearly enough peeps though. Yeah, I can imagine. You know, unfortunately, I felt that was going to happen with the Talib show. He says we're going to start not getting these acts in Omaha if we don't up our love game when they do.
Man,
it's also an awareness thing, bro. We live in a state where I don't know if a whole lot of people even know who Talib Kweli is. So that's something that we always got to battle around here.
Hey, man. Know, man. I know. We go back and forth over this all the time. You would think it's enough heads to pack a Talib show. Where was the show at? Where was it?
Might be enough heads. Waiting room. Might be enough heads, but you know, if it's we the only heads that we can depend on coming out for each and every show, then you're gonna have some problems. His heads got to overlap. That's just all there is to it,
man.
And that's where we're at. So it is what it is. Also in the chat, Ms. Miller Jenkins says, feeling like eating the rich by starving their pockets this holiday season. Referring to maybe the shutdown that's coming out. A lot of people have been saying that too. If we're gonna have these problems, then maybe we ought to not engage in holiday seasons like we do, like we traditionally have, where they get a whole lot of our money for those holidays, for all the trimmings. But we'll see. Also, we got to talk about the fact that these Democrats are kind of voting a certain way so that the government can open back up. And, that's kind of some of what's on their mind. I heard one Democrat speaking this morning before the show talking about that holidays is coming. People are worried about how they're going to have a Thanksgiving and so on and so forth. We got to get this thing back open. Yeah. So we can kind of understand where they're coming from, too. If they don't feel like there's going to be any change made anytime soon, we might as well not have change made and be able to open things up so people can get SNAP benefits and stuff they needed, So lots to kind of go back and forth on that, actually, which is the advantage of us being able to speak on this show. We can have a little bit deeper conversation than just be spouting out the headlines. So we'll talk about it coming up. Also, we see Dave Pontos in the chat. Brother Pontos, good morning. All appreciate you coming in. Also, Mark Manor says, I think I sold more Christmas music for the first weekend in November ever. People seem to be all in a hurry for these holidays. I've seen that. I feel like I've seen that more than previous years as well. Like, as soon as Halloween was over, people was putting their Christmas trees up. Like, they want to hurry up and get through this year. It is what it is. Brother Pena is saying healthcare is done. Insurance premiums are going up. They're already going up. So yeah, we already are talking about this healthcare situation. That's going to be really messed up. Majid Miller Jenkins says it's disgusting that Dems are even thinking of folding while they're steadily getting paid. Again, I think it's something to debate, something to discuss. If they don't see any end in sight, any end of the government shutdown in sight, and people are coming up to the holidays and getting real nervous, I can understand where they're coming from as well. RG said was supposed to fly out to either Crackalacken or Bama this past weekend, but thought twice. Same, bro. Same. Okay. I said I need the air traffic controllers to get paid before I get back on the plane myself. So man. I feel you.
Okay.
I feel you. We'll get into it. Dave Ponto says, well, there are plenty of people in a mini kiss at waiting room on Saturday. So, like I said, different. We're in a different town, bro. That's all there is to it. We'll get to some more of your questions. Linda Lathan, give us a good morning. I appreciate that. Mama God says Senate reached an agreement. They got 8 votes needed. We'll get into it. Kick the can up the road till the end of December. I believe next steps is to go back to the House. We're finding out about whether or not some of these benefits for November is going to get recalled. We'll see. Lots to talk about here. We'll definitely get into it, and we'll get into more of your comments as we go. Thanks for joining us again. It's 7:20 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, this is a fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy the Gawd. We'll take a quick break and come back and jump into the discussion. And stay tuned. We will be politicking with P. Precious McKesson is going to be our guest today. Highly encourage you to stay tuned. Man. Do us a favor, share the show on your page so we get as many people in as possible and have this discussion. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere yet. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B. Buddy the Gawd. How are you?
Yeah.
Doing good. Doing well. Doing fine. Appreciate you guys getting up early this morning on this Monday morning. It definitely feels like a Monday morning for us. All the tech did some things this morning and I wasn't fully awake. And trying to get it together, but we always get lively when you guys come on and we have these discussions, so we appreciate it. Appreciate everybody who's in the comment section as well. We'll get to it. Before we get to your comments, let's go ahead and jump into the discussion. Have Buddy set us up for the things that we're going to be talking about and going back and forth today. So man, what's first on the agenda, Buddy?
Yeah, just kind of really just a warning. Really, this isn't anything that warrants too much conversation. I think we know what this is, but just acknowledging our out there in Lincoln, the fam out in Lincoln, something to look out for, man. Again, especially those with babies. I'm not sure what area of town this is, but let me know if you're familiar with Sheridan Elementary School. According to the Omaha World Herald, Lincoln police are investigating a high-dollar vandalism, as they're calling it, at Sheridan Elementary School's playground over the weekend, involving hate symbols and hateful language. As you can see in pictures, swastikas, the N-word was also painted on the playground, actually pretty big. Actually says about 5 feet wide was the N-word. There were also a few W's, which according to the report and Lincoln's public schools website is apparently some kind of gang symbol. Right now, there is no suspect apprehended, and while they don't know who did it, they are saying that they did clean it up. Says, I want to be clear that this type of hateful language would not be tolerated at Sheridan Elementary School or Lincoln Public Schools. That's Principal sits at Sheridan, who we pride, being a community of inclusion and belonging. We teach students to be safe, responsible, and respectful. So it could be anything, could be nothing, could be something as far as the act. But when you take into account the FBI report that Nebraska has the most hateful or the most active hate groups in the country, and then also just kind of the political climate, look out.
Yeah, most definitely. We have some people associated with Lincoln that are friends of First Sky Omaha, some Chad Chimers. Let us know if you're familiar with that school, if you've heard anything from the people that you know about this situation as well. But yeah, definitely something to look out for. It's unfortunate that it happened on elementary school campus too. That's just crazy.
Yeah, man.
RG says Sheridan Elementary. That's an old money part of town. Okay. Good to know. Yeah. Donnell Sessions in the chat. Good morning. Appreciate that. She says, I'm from Lincoln. They did this when I was in high school. They've been doing it.
Yeah. So again, it could be nothing, could be something, but we got listeners, we got fam out there in the area, and kind of feels not right to not say anything. You know what I mean? So again, look out, be careful, especially for those of you who have babies out there. But staying in Lincoln, moving along. Did anybody make it to the Capitol? Again, there were several hearings we talked about last week. Senator McKinney during his senator cipher. Kind of tipped us off to his housing study that he has going on, looking at the determinants or what is causing the struggles for especially first time home buyers to work their way into housing. But it's not just about, buying a home. Those who are in state and city subsidized public housing also fighting for some rights, also struggling in their own right. Again, big shout out to Melissa Wright for Channel 3, again, reporting on this. And the Nebraska Urban Affairs Committee on Friday held a hearing to address the ongoing bed bug, specifically infestation in public housing, of course, including several OHA properties. Senator Terrell McKinney put some respect on his name, says OHA previously discussed a heat treatment plan, but hasn't provided any updates. And actually, in another report from Melissa Wright, she is saying that residents specifically in the Underwood Towers, which has kind of been ground zero for this whole OHA situation, they're still complaining not only about bed bugs, but also other rodent infestations and bugs not being under control. Again, OHA is saying that their plan of heat treatment and things like that are working, but not quite the case. Again, still the same old, same old. Here we are now, years, really decades, if we're being honest, into this whole situation, and not really updating with the OHA situation. If anybody has any family members or friends in those towers, can kind of give us a first-hand account, because apparently that's what it takes. That's how we've got the situation. Big shout out to our citizen journalists, the likes of Sherman Wells, Baby Boy Bowling, even Sister Kimera Snipe, pulling up to the towers themselves and trying to see firsthand on what's going on. We've already talked about how it's been reported. So, Paul, what say you? What do you think?
Yeah, it's how it's being reported is very interesting because, of course, because we have social media the way we have it, a lot of people are doing a lot of self-reporting. So, I've seen a bunch of stuff from OHA saying the problem has been solved and so on and so forth. But we, of course, get a different story from some of the residents that we talk to personally. So that is what it is, unfortunately. And the fight for housing is still ongoing. We have friends of First Sky Omaha in here that's been helping. Shout out to Dave Pontos, who is a lawyer who's been giving some of his services for free to help people in rental situations. He also has a practice, so he's been doing all kinds of different work in order to make sure that people are getting represented. Also, Kimber Snipes in the chat says, I couldn't make it to Lincoln, but I did send a written testimony to be entered into the record. Appreciate that very, very much. Shout out to our friends over at Heart Ministry Center, who was behind a lot of the study there and was pushing for this and working with Senator McKinney on this and asking for people to do that written testimony. And so that's definitely something that we will be keeping our eye on. Continue. As you know, we've been kind of on this fight the tower situation for how long has it been now? A year?
A couple years, a couple years now.
Yeah. So we still are slowly, low key raising funds still for the Underwood Tenants Group, headed up by Hassani Lee. There's some money in the coffers there too. We need to see if we can get back a hold of him and bring him back on the show and find out what's going on in his situation. And just keep our eye on that. Again, like you said, shout out to the people that are boots to the roots doing the work. Melissa Wright, bringing this subject back up. And anytime that anybody is hearing from their loved ones or friends or family that are in these situations, always bring it back up because this is an ongoing thing and it has not been solved yet. That's kind of where I stand on it.
Yeah. And, kind of thinking as we're talking about the winter approaching, people's pockets getting thinner and thinner and feeling more pressure. Some people may be having to decide on whether to spend their last on food or rent in lieu of not having food stamps or SNAP benefits. Again, $500 emergency was kind of the threshold that a lot of people, especially back in the pandemic, kind of found themselves. $500 can make the difference between having to make those types of decisions. And, who knows where that number could be now, several years later. But again, people can find themselves in an eviction situation very, very soon, if not already. I'm wondering, Dave, are you still taking those types of cases or, are you loaded?
Yeah, man. I know you've been doing a lot of work. Who else in the realm are also trying to help? We need to get more soldiers out there that can do something. So appreciate that and appreciate the word from you as well. Have you heard? It is it's what time is it right now? 7, almost coming up on 7:30 already. I'm just thinking right now about if anybody's heard seen some of these videos that's been going around of people who let me just say this: there's a narrative that SNAP benefits is just for Black people, and we all know, especially here on this show, and who's listening, our ghost listeners, our chat chimers, that that's false. But I thought it was really funny to see videos of some people that were at offices mad that they weren't getting their food stamps. And I was confused until I realized that a lot of people, certain demographics of people, did not understand that that's what SNAP benefits were. Just because they were called SNAP benefits and they've been marrying the phrase SNAP benefits to mean minorities getting money, they didn't realize that they were the food stamps that they've been calling food stamps are the benefits. So when they went to go, when they were waiting for their food stamps to come and their EBT cards to get filled and so on, they were shocked to realize that they weren't getting them and were chiming up. And it was really interesting to see a lot of that being reported. Machine Jenkins says AI is going wild with the fake videos. Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Especially Sona. It's actually gotten to the point where I'm getting to like flagging videos in my social, like you got to curate your social media at this point. Yeah. Like, you know, anything that has Sona in it or again, those keywords, I don't want to see that, man.
Yeah. Yeah, we reported last week about the AI videos of the Black women who were banging on doors talking about giving my SNAP benefits. I got to feed my 7 kids from my 7 baby daddies and all this crazy stuff. And it turned out to be fake videos. Of course, I mean, they're just the AI is getting out of control. And then there's actual people reporting as if those were actual real videos. So even now in the way that I do things now, like we talk about it all the time, how we get our news. We're thumbing through on the phone. We see a video, we see a report, we see something. This is how we get our news. A lot of us that are in this and know that we're going to talk about it go to our trusted sources to try to find out if some of these things are true. And I got to tell you, man, I've been going to reporters that I know their names, and I've been reading what they have to say a whole lot more than checking out any videos or anything that's out there. Everything that's a video out there, as far as I'm concerned, is for entertainment purposes. It may not be true as of now, as of like right now. So I think, yeah, totally interesting, but really crazy. Yeah, Kimber said, ain't no way. Yes. Definitely have seen some reports, have read some reports on people that are coming to some of these offices mad that they're not getting their food stamps and realizing what's actually happening. So very wild indeed. I appreciate the DeAndre in the chat saying that's wild. Totally wild, man. All of it's wild. We live in a really, really, really wild time. Shout out to Dave Pontos, man. He says, send folks my way. Happy to at least provide advice or even litigate like F, depending on the situation. Yeah, I feel that, man. Appreciate that. Dave Pontos in the fight for sure on these things, and we'll have to keep it up. We have to keep this conversation up and speak amongst ourselves. Before we go to a break, I just want to relay. I had a dream about a show that I wrote called The Hookup, because every single thing in our existence has to do with who we know and what kind of connection we have in order to be able to have some housing, in order to be able to find the right pantry if we need the food, even to get the information that we need to get in order even to get the right information, because we can get reports from maybe the legislature. Some people are reporting something one way and you get it another way. Like even the information you get right now is kind of a hookup. So,
hey, Master P told you I got the hookup. Yeah. Holla if you hear me. Holla if you hear me. Hey.
Shout out to Master P winning the verses.
Hey, make him say, about it.
About it. Machine says NPR, PBS, and Al Jazeera are the only news sources I trust these days. I hear that. Okay. While we're on the subject, highly encourage us to go ahead and give $5, $10 to NPR, some of these other places that we've been enjoying for free for so long. PBS been free all my life, but I'm ready to go ahead and pay $5, $10 for it now, because I'd rather it stay. Go ahead.
Hey, throw in ProPublica too, man. Hey, shout out. Hey, I still watch Democracy Now! Every morning. You know, try to get it in after the show.
Man, I don't know what I'm doing. Amy Goodman ain't there no more. Let's take a quick break and we'll come back and jump more into the conversation. Stay tuned if you're just joining us. We're deep into the discussion about what's happening right now with this government shutdown situation that is affecting things like SNAP benefits. We've been reporting all week long about places that you can go get food if things get bad. And then, of course, some judges came in and said you can't do this, but Trump fought it. And we just don't know where we stand. And again, if there's anybody who is listening that is in that situation, let us know what is going on with that situation too. Let us know about. I've heard some people on Friends of First Sky talk about you might need to use up what you have on your card right now because that may be revoked. There's a lot of information out there that we're trying to go through and decipher, and that's why we always start with, okay, if none of this stuff works, what can we do for each other? Where are the food pantries at? Who's got some deals? All those types of things, because we got to take care of each other first, and then address what's going on with this government shutdown and all that. But here we are. We got to talk about it, and we'll come back and do just that. Precious McKesson will be joining us. We'll be politicking with P, put some respect on her name, and we'll be catching up with her as well. So stay tuned for that. Do us a favor, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. We haven't been able to check in with Miss McKesson here for a minute, so it's going to be a great interview, a great discussion, and she'll be here shortly. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul Beeee, buddy to Gawd.
Hey.
Trying to wake up on a Monday. Stay tuned, y'all. Be right back.
We have to show them by our actions that we do not intend to play the role that the Jews play.
Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul Beeee, buddy to Gawd. Is my mic loud enough? I've been accused of speaking softly on mics lately and in rooms.
Really?
Yeah, man. I didn't realize it. I was when I did the event, when I hosted the event, it was in a room, and apparently I wasn't projecting enough in that room, and I was thinking, why is that? Why is that? I got a history of singing in clubs and doing things, so I don't think it's because of this. I got this really powerful mic right in front of me. I don't got to holler into it. And then maybe I'm just now used to just speaking at this tone. Not sure. But people have complained about even the levels here lately. So I'm like, let me test my lungs out and see what's going on.
I thought you was a Prince fan. You talking like Michael.
Wait a minute. What does that even mean, buddy? Michael would go in there and almost break the vocal booth as hard as he be singing in there.
You know what I'm talking about. I said talking like Michael, not singing. You know what I'm talking about, Paul.
Well, if you've been keeping up with things, apparently Michael had a very deep voice that he just never used.
I heard.
Yeah.
Really from Gary.
He's really from Gary. He's really from Indiana, for real.
Oh, man. They might see the Michael.
You breaking up, say again?
They might see the Michael trailer.
No.
Yeah, they got his nephew.
The movie coming out?
Yeah, he got his nephew, the biopic.
I did see that the nephew was going to play it. I didn't know they had a trailer out now.
They got the
Interesting.
Trailer now.
We'll jump back into the conversation here. 7:39. If you believe in the concept of time, we appreciate everybody joining us. Also, I'm seeing in the chat, Kimra in the chat is saying, I completely believe they are mad about their food I I was embarrassed for him. I was just embarrassed for him. She says, I just felt like ain't no way they didn't know what SNAP was. Well, this is what I'm trying to say. They have been thinking that SNAP meant benefits for black folks.
Really?
And that it wasn't equating to the food stamps that they were getting.
Like so the food stamps they're getting is just completely separate, different.
Those are food stamps. Those are benefits.
Okay.
So the language that that they've been using,
that language,
it just goes to show you how that master narrative, how the narrative has been so much. We need to get rid of these benefits because these black folks are just living off the state with these SNAP benefits. We need to get rid of SNAP benefits. The way they associate the words with the people and all that is actually confuse their own people.
To Maggie Miller Jenkins' point, she says they didn't know SNAP was food stamps, just like they didn't know Obamacare was the ACA. Propaganda has ruined critical thinking skills. You remember the whole critical race theory? Do you even know what it is? No, but it's bad.
I mean, we're already dealing with that kind of mentality, and then you get propagandized this way, and you just all the way confused. I actually feel very sorry for him. Like Marlon Harrison in the chat, Africans, Asians, and Caribbeans have been cutting up on social media. They're doing videos with "Feed the Children" song in the background, and I'm not going to lie, some of the videos were funny. Okay, I'll check that out. Pops is saying, right, ignorance is the killer. Man, these are the same people who didn't know Obamacare and Affordable Care Act, and they fought against it. Right. Saying, right, exactly, man. It's a trip. It's a trip. And and the propaganda is so, the propaganda is so in your face and blatant. I forget that people actually get fooled by the propaganda because this ain't even, bro. When you study propaganda, when you study like what they did in Nazi Germany, there's a very prolific filmmaker, this woman who was making the best propaganda videos, that she was riling people up with these videos. And to this day, anybody who shoots propaganda film studies this woman because of how effective her videos were. And you watch them and you get riled up watching them. There's just no way that you don't get riled up. Whether or not you get riled up, you riled up because you're mad, or you riled up because you're feeling them. Whatever the deal, it's gonna. There's things that are put out there to affect your emotions. Language is one of them, and so it's just a trip to me. I don't know how to. I guess I'm too far in it to not recognize the propaganda. I don't know, but it seems to me that this is so crazy, so blatant. It's not even a jump. It's not even. I just don't understand it. I just don't get it. They already are prone. People are already prone to think a certain way, and any little nudge now, not even got to be big, beautiful propaganda. Just any little nudge in language.
That means some people believe this boogeyman situation. You know what I mean? Like everything is out to get them.
Mashimila Jenkins in the chat says, "Democracy Now! Is a staple in my house. Don't forget to shout out the show as one of the rare news sources that can be trusted as well. When we did Mind and Soul, one of the first outside shows we brought in was Democracy Now! And played it every day at noon. And I got such great feedback from the community about that show. And I was surprised that we even got it. But that was because it's not being played anywhere else in Omaha. So luckily we can jump online now and we can get it digitally. But for a little minute there, only certain radio stations would play it." Mm-hmm. Anthony Rogers Wright says, "Obamacare needs to go. It's Heritage Foundation construct, which is one of the many reasons why it's not working for working people. It's definitely getting worse. It's definitely getting more expensive. It's definitely been out of my range for a hot minute. Something does need to change. This is the problem. Something needs to change. But what extremes are they trying to say? What are they going to do with these extremes before change actually happens? Because that's what some of the problem is." Anything else standing out to you in the chat before we move on?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of going back and forth as far as just the SNAP situation. Majee Miller Jenkins, most of the people on SNAP are working single parent households, nurses, cooks, service workers, care workers, school staff, retail workers, army, and military. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think everybody sees what's going on. I do kind of want to pivot
Hmm.
to the airport situation really quickly, just to clarify that. I mean, again, you're talking about the confusion on what's going on. We'll kind of dive more into the snap situation later on in the show. But as far as the airports, because this is something that again is impacting everybody. It's to your point, like people are getting on board of this, hating black people and hating immigrants and hating Mexicans and trying all of these things, but cutting off their nose despite their face. Again, point in case the travel. This is something that impacts everybody. Again, traveling has been um, pulled back, I think, to the tune of 10% over the weekend. I am getting some conflicting reports, so I do want to hear from the people directly. As I mentioned earlier in the show, Omaha World Herald is reporting that flight cancellations did hit Nebraska airports. Apparently, most namely flights going to and from Chicago and Denver, O'Hare, which are common stops for people flying out of Omaha and Lincoln areas. Apparently, Friday flights affected by the change included some United Airline flights from Chicago to Omaha, also a Delta flight from Detroit to Omaha. And again, those cancellations are connected to FAA not being paid. Let's just call it what it is. The Federal Aviation Administration said Wednesday that it will be reducing air traffic across 40 high volume quote unquote markets, going down to 10% by November 14th. Again, the move aims to maintain travel safety and take pressure off of air traffic controllers who are federal employees working without pay during the government shutdown. Again, as we head into the most high volume travel season, talking about the holiday season, both Thanksgiving and Christmas, not only students going home for school, but just people again traveling, trying to connect with loved ones. Are we planning on traveling? Have you been impacted by these? I think somebody did mention that they were planning on taking a trip and had to think twice. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that's definitely I think a lot of people here are understanding that. Anthony Rogers Roy says flight from Omaha was seamless to California via Denver. Some brief ground halts to make sure air traffic was safe, but nothing very noticeable. As far as I'm concerned, I ain't flying until they start getting paid again.
Right.
Marianne Williams says a friend flew out of Omaha today. 4-hour TSA wait, delays already, in general airport chaos. We've
Okay.
definitely hearing reports out of bigger places like Atlanta, where the wait is 7 hours. LAX as well. So yeah, travel seems real ridiculous right now, and it's just another reason I think a lot of people are just saying, "Hey, we're gonna treat this holiday season differently, for sure." Especially with everything going on, let's worry about trying to make sure that we have food and healthcare at this moment in time. So, yeah, so it is a thing, and I see people kind of making their own personal choices there on that. But the deal to me is Sean McCarthy in the chat. Good morning. I'm saying one of the friends said our government doesn't care about poor people, but when it affects air travel, expect the shutdown to end soon. I will say this: I did hear a report. One last thing to say about the air travel. A lot of private planes and private flights have been shut down as of yesterday. So I think now we'll probably hear a little bit of push on getting things back to normal here on the flight situation, since now rich people's flights are getting ready to get touched. So we'll see. Kimmer Snipe says, my cousin was going in to fly into San Antonio for Thanksgiving, but she's choosing to drive. A lot of people,
Okay.
a lot of us are absolutely doing that. Sean McCarthy says, apparently it took air travel delays to end the government shutdown in the 1990s. Appreciate that bit of information. Look back and see what happened there. So maybe we'll see. But we have been getting all these reports of the government shutdown ending. We're now in the longest government shutdown ever.
Yep.
Trump was saying last week we only need a few Democrats to swing our way on some things, and it sounds like that's happened. Marianne Williams says someone else had the friend at the airport. So it seems like it's going down. We're waking up to these reports that the government is going to open back up because these Democrats have switched gears. As a matter of fact, Marianne Williams, speaking of Marianne Williams,
Yep.
I appreciate your post in Friends of First Sky Omaha. Marianne Williams says U.S. Senators Kane, Razin, Shaheen, and Hassan have indicated they will reconsider their vote at the end and to end the shutdown without guarantees that the ACA subsidies will be funded. We're talking a lot about Obamacare subsidies right now. As a matter of fact, in the chat, somebody just was telling their story here about what happened with premiums. Kimber says, I talked with somebody yesterday whose premiums will be going up almost $1,000 per month as well.
Man.
Sean says, my niece and her husband are paying $700 for health care. If these subsidies go, they'll be paying $1,700. That is one of the reasons home ownership is almost an impossibility for younger people. So, yeah. So we're talking some real numbers here when it comes to these premiums going up. But in the meantime, Marianne Williams says, it doesn't matter if they don't technically represent your state. Their votes affect every one of us. Call the switchboard and ask for the senators mentioned above. Again, those were Senators Kane, Rosen, Shaheen, and Hassan. Tell them not to give in to Republicans after putting everyone through the longest shutdown in history. It has to mean something. And she put a number there too, 202-224-3121 to make that call. So she's putting the call out. We appreciate your comment there. We'll definitely dive into this idea because of the fact that the Democrats have gone this way. But I did hear one Democrat talk about it this morning before we got on the show, and it was the concern was if we're not seeing any progress here with negotiating with this administration, and people are getting more fearful as we head into the holiday season that food is going to be scarce. Maybe we need to go ahead and attack this from a different way and just go ahead and get the government back rolling and attack this in a different way. I'm kind of understanding where they're coming from too, but I'm also understanding the fight. I'm also understanding the reason why they were holding out this whole time before was because of the healthcare situation. What is this going to mean? So I'm sure that we have some people in the chat that are going to start talking about it here, and I appreciate that. Also, I see Anthony Rogers Wright is saying Kane is not changing his mind under cover of the federal workers he represents. Interesting. Another testimony from Stacey Jean. Good morning. Says, my brother is on SNAP. He is an amputee and transplant recipient. His anti-rejection meds are covered by Medicaid. He has never had a copay for his meds. Now he has copays and he can't afford. We as his family have been helping him. If he loses Medicaid, his meds will cost $1,000 to $1,600 a month. We will still help him. What about the people who don't have the help? They're going to die without their meds. I've been seeing it even on a low key level too. Sorry about that. Some family members who all of a sudden was like, well, why all of a sudden do I have a copay of $20? Even the small copay of $20 when this was free before, because things are moving that way.
Man, and actually, having conversations with Mama Gawd, she's been reminding me also that one of the big changes that are on the back end of this that's going to, really exacerbate struggles is the fact that health care bills and hospital bills are now being reported on credit scores and credit reports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Along with everything's on your credit report now. Your housing, your medical. So messed up situation.
People who can't keep up with those copays going up, and those bills start racking up, start affecting your credit score, and then now you really can't get a house. Now you really can't buy a car. Now you really can't own anything because your credit score. So slippery slope we're all on. For
sure, man. We got a special guest that's waiting in the wings. Before we get to that guest, I want to take a quick break and then come in. Before we go, Erica Felt also put a comment in the chat. In Friends of First Sky Omaha too, saying, understand this. It's more important to the GOP to refuse health care than it is to feed children. They're willing to let children starve before they'll let their mothers have life-saving health care. From the article regarding the negotiated bill to reopen the government until January, she quoted, negotiators in the Senate also shut down a bid by House Republicans to hobble the Government Accountability Office, a roughly century-old agency formed to help Congress keep track of federal spending. The GAO has twice determined this year that Mr. Trump's actions violated rules that prohibit him from unilaterally canceling funding, and the agency is allowed under existing law to sue to force a president to release illegally withheld funds. While the House has proposed to have funding for the agency, the Senate written measure would keep its funding flat. The measure also jettisoned a provision by House Republicans that sought to bar the agency from suing the White House in the future. Still, the package omits any mention of the health care subsidies that Democrats made a centerpiece of the shutdown fight. They had spent weeks demanding the Republicans agree to permanently extend the tax credits in exchange for their votes to fund the government, a condition the GOP refused to meet. On Friday, Mr. Schumer had scaled back that demand, saying Democrats would vote to reopen the government if the legislation included an extension of health tax credits for just 1 year. Republicans immediately rejected that proposal as well, calling it a non-starter. So we're getting some reports here left and right about what's happening there and where we're at. And this is the perfect time for us to be politicking with P. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we're going to bring in Miss Precious McKesson. Good morning to you, Miss McKesson. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are y'all? Can y'all hear me?
Yep,
Yeah,
loud and clear, loud and clear.
How are y'all?
Doing
Precious. It's
good.
been a minute. We miss
Yeah,
you. How you been?
yeah,
I've been
been too
good.
long.
I've been good. I've been good.
We've been seeing you out and about, dressed up in your fresh green.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Fighting situation, yeah, it was good. It was good to see you out and seeing what was happening. And I appreciate the stuff that you have been posting as well. You just seem very excited about what's been going on here. Of course, Dems had some big sweeps over the last week, and then we had the Ben Nelson Gala, and then President Biden came to town, and I just love hearing your feelings about those things when you post. I pay attention to your posts because of that. And it's good to hear that. Maybe you could share some of them feelings with our audience. How you feeling today?
I mean, I'm feeling good. Over the weekend, what took place, from Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not feeling good about what happened last night.
Mm-hmm.
I'm those 8 Democrats that voted with Republicans. Really, sometimes you think, and this is just me talking as Precious, as a as a Democrat, as a leader, as a sister, as a daughter, for people who benefit on the healthcare side. I do see both sides of it, but the fact that the main thing that they wanted to shut down was that healthcare piece. That's what the Republicans don't want to give people, is that healthcare piece. And I know people are off work and people are out of work, and it hurts because the government is shut down because so many people are being impacted, especially for the food. But I feel like like Buddy said, they leveraged not feeding people.
Right.
And I feel like they know the Republicans know the game,
Mm-hmm.
and we do got to feed our families. We do got to feed our children. We do, people should not be working for free. But to be able to cave in, it's just I'm just so mixed emotions right now,
Right.
because I know the other side of, the people that we hear, we see the pantry lines are long. We know people are working for free. People are not happy to be working for free. I wouldn't want to work for free. But then you see this part where now you have, I got a text message this morning from someone, and the first thing they said was, I don't, what they say to me is a 709. I can't believe the Democratic Party voted. My insurance premium is $2,000 a month now, and I still have to pay a bill after paying my premium. Whoever voted for this, that's Democratic. How do you find out? And they want to know how. I gave them who found out, who voted for it, and then they said this. I'm not blaming you or nothing, but this is some bullshit, and Trump is laughing all the way to the bank. And I agree completely with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I always, no matter what, I am a Democrat. And so those 8 Democrats, basically, they put us all in one bucket with them because they broke the filibuster. And it's really sad. And just really sad what's going on. And now, what's the guarantee that on January 30th, because this is supposed to basically open the government back up until January 30th with the caveat that they're going to talk about, the healthcare piece. They now have the leverage where they don't have to talk about that.
Mm.
They don't have to agree. They don't have to. And so we shall see what they'll do, because last night when they said it, basically, I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes because I was up trying to watch it, and I was just like, oh, after a long weekend, I was like, man, basically it promises they said it promises a vote to extend healthcare subsidies under the ACA, but it doesn't guarantee a vote. So yeah, they can extend it right now until January, but it doesn't guarantee that they're going to vote for it.
And I don't know. I think we at this point don't expect that Republicans will ever make any kind of deal here on that tip in the first place.
I'm
When
really concerned about the leadership that we have currently. That is making decisions. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's honestly, and I say this, and I don't care. Like as a person who, um, in leadership, it's time for them to really look and see who's leading, because this is just ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I was thinking when I watched a report that where interview that Trump was talking about last week, where he was saying that explaining to people that they only needed a few Democratic votes to do this. And as soon as he said a few, I thought there's probably enough in there that'll do this.
Yeah, it's disappointing. When I saw the names like John Fetterman, Durbin, it's really, yeah, it's really, yeah.
It's disappointing, but I also feel like this that people are getting scared with holiday season coming up, and they're getting scared, and they're like, people aren't getting paid. Food is now in trouble. And I know personally in my life, friends and family that are in tears trying to figure out what they're going to do about the Thanksgiving coming up, and let alone Christmas. And the holiday season is exacerbating the mental health situation in general. And then when people are having these problems with the funds, we was already at our wits end just because of how high the grocery bill was. So to think that this government can be shut down for another few months while through the holiday season probably scared some folks. So when you first came on and said that you got mixed feelings, so do I. Like I understand that they have now disregarded the plan, but why did they do that? They were very scared, just like a whole lot of Americans right now are scared about what's going to happen. So
So it's time for us to really, like to really mobilize and really be able to say, okay, we know that what's going to happen is that they'll reopen it. Our people will be able to get the food and be able to have the things they need. But we also got to think what's going to happen when they in January, if they don't vote, if they don't even consider it to really help with these subsidies from the ACA. So I just keep thinking to myself, that means that we know when we have a primary in May here in Nebraska, and we know we have a national election in November. We have to be able to mobilize and get people and get whoever's on that ballot up for a seat, and they voted against this. They got to go. I mean, they voted for it. They got to go.
mm,
But and we know the power of our vote, and we just have to stand and we just have to use the power of our vote. We got to do that. We got to use our vote and get them out of there. That's what it's going to take. And it's going to take us knocking doors, talking to people, all that.
yeah, man, um, yeah, it's unfortunate. We spent the last week or two, this last couple of weeks, moving past this situation with the government shutdown, just with our group and saying, let's jump right to what can we do for each other. And we spent a lot of time talking about restaurants and places that are giving away food pantries. We did a whole bunch of fundraising. We had one of the Chad Chimers match people's funds up to $750 to give to Willie Hamilton. We did we were doing all this because we were saying, hey, whatever they got going on, let's help make sure that we all straight. But towards the end of that, and this week, I'm feeling a little bit like, yeah, but how long can this last? How long can this go on?
I
So,
mean, I agree with you. What and I said this the other day, and I know, and I don't want no one to take this, in a way. When we look at the amount of people that receive SNAP benefits, it's not people of color.
Mhm.
It's not people of color. It's not, especially in the state of Nebraska. And then I also go back to, back when growing up, my grandma always made a way, no matter
Mm.
what, no matter what.
right.
And we always had. So I mean, I feel like when you look at it, who are they looking at toward that? I don't know. Again, I have a lot of mixed emotions, and I just, yeah, I kind of sit and think about it. How do I react to it? But when I sit, I'm like, you didn't do this for people. You didn't do this for us.
Yeah.
It's always an agenda behind something, and It's just disappointing, very disappointing.
Yeah.
But I also know that again, I have to be I have to have empathy for the people who are working for free. You know, I can't forget about them too. You know, and yeah.
Man, feeling like catch 22, darned if you do, darned if you don't, as far as Democrats go. Searching through the internet, just looking at a lot of the rhetoric and conversations, just kind of getting a pulse of where people, and I am seeing more and more people drinking the Democrat Kool-Aid as far as Democrats being to blue, what's going on. And there's been a lot of finger pointing towards Democrats shut down as far as, saying that's Democrats' fault, even though, again, Republicans have the control. And now we have Democrats who are moving in, and some people can say Democrats are responsible for their premiums now going up,
Yeah.
although we know
I
how
want
it
them to
is.
say, but I need to make sure they say them eight. Them eight
So,
are we all in one group, but they put us all in one group. That's the sad part.
Yeah. So yeah, just that kind of put up against the wins of last week as far as elections go. How are you feeling as far as the polls are feeling towards Democrats, and just as a Democrat, how are you feeling right now?
Well, this literally took a curveball to it, but
Mhm.
I'm feeling good. I mean, I do feel that people are seeing what this administration has done and is doing in the last 10 months. Well, 11 months because we're in November now. Yeah. So 10 months because it's not officially, full 10 months.
Yeah.
I think people are seeing that they want change. I mean, look what happened in New York. So excited for that. I mean, that right there just showed you like billionaires can't control all that money that was spent to keep Madani from winning, and he won. It was like I ain't gonna lie. I love putting the middle finger up to all the people who did not endorse him, who didn't support him. I was like, yeah, this is what you get. This is what you get, and that's on both sides: Republicans, Democrats, Independent. Whoever did not support him and made it seem as if he was gonna he's a socialist. He's gonna do this. The people spoke. The people spoke. And that's what I want them to continue to do. The people need to speak and really use the power of the vote. And that's what they did. He did a grassroots, and he knocked over 2 million doors, talking to people, talking about the issues, talking to people that normally sometimes who didn't feel like they were being spoken to, or feel like they didn't even have a voice. He went to the people who was the voiceless and spoke for them. And I think that is going to resonate across the nation. In Mississippi now has control of their Senate, of their state Senate. They flip seats all over the country. And I just hope that people keep that momentum going in 26, because that could happen here. We could flip some things. We could do all kinds of stuff. So yes.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Just thinking of the 6 to dismiss. I mean, we've been very vocal about that here on the show, keeping an eye on just, some of the individuals on that list, as you see on the screen. Thank you, Paul. Again, for those who don't know, 6 to dismiss is a list of 6 individuals, one of which had already said he's stepping down, Don Bacon. So right now, Governor Jim Pillen, Senator Pete Ricketts, Mike Flood, Congressman Adrian Smith, Don Klein from Douglas County, and Douglas County Sheriff Aaron Hansen, all seats that are up for grabs coming up. So again,
we stole that from you and called it the 6 to dismiss. That's from your post. So we always have the question: well, who now? Now that we know who we got to get rid of, who's going to replace them? Who are the people that you guys are excited about? I think Michaela Danner is probably the name that I'm seeing the most as far as getting into Don Klein seat. But who are some of the other ones that we can be looking towards that are going to be able to replace?
I think off the top of my head for the Bacon seat. I mean, again, remember, I have to remain neutral when there's dim on dim, so I don't speak. I'm speaking overall. But what I vote for personally is I keep that to myself of who I support. But on the Don Bacon seat, you have about, lost count, 6 or 7 maybe in that race.
Okay.
Because it's so many of them, I remain neutral. I just do the work of getting people registered to vote and get them to the polls. So you have that race right there. You got great candidates in that one. You also have 2 candidates in CD1, Eric Moyer and Chris. He just can't remember. He just announced on Thursday. And then you have CD3. You have Becky Steele, and then you have a young man who has not officially announced yet, but he is an African American. He lives in Grand Island. Really sharp young man. I will say, met him before. We did we guys do a conversation, and then met him over the weekend. He came up and did some trainings and stuff. Really great young man. And just need to really we got people that are running. So then the for let me see what's the other seat I had on there. Oh, Senate. You have Dan Osborne running. But again, he's an independent, but he is running against P. Rickett. There's not been a dim. We do have a gubernatorial candidate who will be announcing soon.
Okay.
Really excited for them. You never want to get ahead of your candidate, especially when they want to make sure that all their stuff is in line. But I think I feel we have a strong candidate for the governor race. I'll be honest, the Douglas County sheriff race is one of the I'm not saying it's the hardest race to recruit. Well, no, it is one of the hardest. It is not saying it's hard to recruit. It's just getting somebody in there who is qualified and who can beat Aaron Hansen. And I'll be honest with you, everybody knows I have a personal relationship with Aaron Hansen, and I have a professional relationship with Aaron Hansen. And my professional relationship with Aaron Hansen needs to go. I'm sorry, just he needs to go because the personal relationship that I have with him and his professional relationship that I have with him, they don't mesh together. It's like it's like a disconnect somewhere. And I'm like, bro, like you, and I know, and I say this because I was somewhere the other day, and he called me, and I was sitting there. Somebody saw my phone. They were like, Aaron Hansen's calling. And I'm like, yeah, he's calling. And he was calling me to tell me that they were providing some extra detail for the president's visit. And they were like, that conversation was I said, well, that's my professional conversation with him, and they was like, oh my gosh, and so, yeah, but it's time to go. The things that he does, it's time to go. So just really heavily recruiting on that race. We do have a national organization that is coming in on that sheriff's race to bring in lots of money to whoever is that candidate who runs. We've been talking to so many people. The problem, and I should say the problem because it's not a problem, but the hurdle that we're running into is that the people that are very highly qualified who could beat Aaron Hansen, some of them are at the close years for retirement. And when you start to get that close, you take a hit, even though we know, okay, you can win, but they have to think about their families and think about the position that they put themselves in, on a financial and a personal aspect. And so those are the only issues that I'm running into, is that the people that are highly qualified who could beat Aaron Hansen, we're hitting that part where they are close to retirement and looking at what that could do. But then also, I'll be honest, let's keep it a buck. You have people who are very much so qualified, and the thing is that I agree with 100%. And I've said this. I will never ask somebody to run for office to put them into a situation to where they are disrespected, and we know and disrespected or done, especially a Black woman, and done dirty by the Douglas County and let them attack her. I'm not going to do that, and I have to respect if someone tells me that no. And I've had people say no. This one is not it. This one is not up for, is not going to be that person. And I respect that. And I tell any of my colleagues, you can't ask me to ask anybody that looks like me to run for office if you can't give them a guarantee that you putting all the money into it, you doing this, you doing that, because we can't be that person to put us on the ballot and then turn around and have people turn their backs on us. I can't let that happen. And so I keep it 100, I'm not going to, sugarcoat it. I keep it 100. And I've told the people that, the organization, you won't be able to use someone that looks like me just to get on the ballot unless you're giving them a guarantee win and you were really heavily investing in this. That only thing they have to do is knock doors, talk to the people, and they don't have to do a fundraising. If you got to guarantee it 100%. That's just it. I mean, you'll still fundraise, because you have your people who support you, but the heavy lift should come from, and you know that department. I mean, there's not a lot of people in that department. Sworn office, there's only one Black sworn sheriff, female.
Wow.
I think the other, and I wonder if I gotta ask Senator Spivey, because I know she's related to a deputy. I wonder if he's retired now. But there is only one sworn Black female sheriff, and she works at the courthouse.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
8:14 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, you're just joining us. We're here with Precious McKesson, and we're politicking with P today. We were talking about some deep stuff. When I asked you to come on, we was a little bit of a high because of the sweep that went down and Biden coming to town and so on and so forth. And now we're a little bit, like you said, turn left here because of what happened last night. My questions. I'm kind of looking at the chat too a little bit, and I'm trying to glean a few things for them. But for me, I'm wondering, and I'm thinking that a lot of people here are too. Let's jump into this healthcare situation for a minute. What can Democrats do, because they are starting to get blamed for this situation with these premiums and so on and so forth? If they can't use this as leverage anymore, what is the plan?
Again, this is not my expertise. So my expertise is not like what I mean. I know that we got to get people voted so that we can overturn these things.
Right.
So I think the main thing is what does it look like in 26 going into this? Like, what does it look like contacting those people, the elected officials, talking about this, like showing up, like, they got to know this is impacting people. This is impacting people a lot. And so I feel like right now they control it all right now. And that's the sad reality. We have to get them out of office. We have to change. We have to gain control of the House. We have to gain control. Because if we don't gain control, this is where we're going to be sitting here. So we got to get good people elected, people who are going to fight for the people and not just say one thing and then go in and do another. Because we don't need that anymore. We don't need the lip service. You got to do your damn job. Do your damn job. And they got to be in there and they got to be hitting them hard. And I just feel like they're just letting them run over them right now with this. Like, you got to be for the people. The people need you to stand up for it. I got to call my mom this morning because I haven't even looked at her information, but I use my brother as an example. Here in the state of Nebraska, just right now, my brother's a quadriplegic. And because of the medical things that he has, they're literally telling me that I have to pay for a medical bed for him. His insurance here in Nebraska will not cover it. I have to pay for the bed because he doesn't have a bed sore. And I'm like, but we're trying to do preventative care to keep from having that. So I'm now paying for this air bed for a month forward that should be covered by insurance. But if he gets a bed sore and goes to the hospital and that bill goes skyrocket, then they'll pay for it. That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense to me.
And I think what's hitting us hard right now is we all have these kinds of stories right now. Like it's I've been taking care of some elderly people in my family that premiums their premiums have gone up, their co-pays have gone up. We're nervous about whether or not they are going to be getting the medication and stuff that they need, and whether or not we can pay for that. And we went into the situation with the SNAP benefits being taken and some other things happening with that kind of attitude that you expressed, like we gonna make something happen, just like our big mamas did, for real. That's something that I think that we can tackle, but we can't make nothing happen with healthcare. Like that's not nothing that we can.
We can make something happen. We gotta, like I say, we gotta take what we've done and what's going on right now and use that to our advantage and say, hey, that's how we get people elected into office. We got to flip those seats and we can do it. It was shown. They don't want even though there's a handful, and I just say handful because I'm not going to go millions of numbers, but a handful of people who support or that group of people that support what's going on right now. What's crazy is that those same people are being hit with the same things. And I'm like, so if they're that ignorant to think that, okay, we can continue to vote for Trump, but these are the same people who don't have SNAP benefits, the same people whose health care is going to go up, the same people whose mother's health care is going to go up. If those people really think that way, then you know what? God be with them and let them be ignorant on their own, and we flip it, and then they'll be reaping the benefits when we come back in and we turn it around to put people back to where they need to be. That's
Right.
the sad part because people are not focused. They're focused on this stupid he's a cult leader. Like they're like focused on this, and it's like you don't get a badge for supporting him. But we just take that what's going on right now, the energy we have, and we continue to work on it, continue to build on it, and turn around, and then we will see change come. But we also have to be honest with people. We got to be honest with people. It's a lot we got to do. We got to rebuild a lot of trust.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit worried about what we're gonna do in the meantime.
Yeah,
That's really what I'm talking about.
yeah,
Marianne Williams is saying what I'm thinking. We can help feed people, but change in healthcare is catastrophic. Uh,
catastrophic. And
we
that's the
we
thing.
I don't get excited thinking we got to wait to vote some people in some seats in order for that to change. When we that stuff is a day to day situation. So, I mean, I know, we have this thing that we call lanes of change, and one of the lanes is political power, and that can help that situation out. But there's so much more change that needs to happen, and if we have to wait on something politically, then we definitely have to step in different ways to be able to boost to the roots, help each other. And that's going to be the beginning of my new thoughts, because what can we do when it comes
Yeah.
to healthcare?
I,
You
I,
know,
ju- I mean, I'll be honest with you, Paul. I mean, we can't, I don't know. I shouldn't say we can't because I never want to use that word. We're in a really, really bad situation right now. We have kids who will lose cancer treatment. I don't understand how these people can let this happen. I don't. So I tell you, I'm not trying to ignore. I'm really stuck right now. Like
hmm
I can't believe it, y'all. I honestly I can't. And
yeah.
I'm wrecking my brain like what can change. So don't think I'm trying to avoid it. I just
No, you feeling exactly what we feeling, stuck on this. Definitely stuck. I'm not even mad at the. To be honest, I'm not even mad at the 8, because like I said, they're scared about the immediate right now as well. Some people gonna sacrifice the long term for the immediate because they're more scared about the immediate. Some people gonna sacrifice the immediate for the long term because they're more scared about the long term. And we scared about it all because the wrong people are in power.
yeah, I'm scared right now thinking like, I normally try not to tell my, personal business, because I try to keep something close hold to me because everybody feels they know everything about me, which they don't.
Yeah.
Right now my brother's in the hospital battling pneumonia. Like, like,
Oh man.
I'm just thinking I mean, it's very frustrating. It's hurtful. It's hurtful what families have to go through. And the fact that you have people who don't care. I mean, I'm sorry, y'all, but it's just the honest to God truth. Like,
I'm sorry, Precious.
people are human too. People want to go out here and think, oh yeah, you work for the Democrat. I'm human too. I can't fight every battle. I have to fight battles in my own. And so when I hear things and when I see the comments, it's like this shit's real. And I wish that people in this party showed that human side. People in politics showed their human side because people are hurting right now. I don't care how many highs you have. We still have families that are hurting. And my family's one of those. So,
I'm wondering. I mean, I know that they have family members that are hurting too. I don't get, it ain't, even these people that are voting against it, even these people that are doing what they're doing, they got family members, they got situations in their life that they're hurting too. And so you're right. Like I don't it feel like they don't even care about themselves. I don't get it. I don't get it either. Marlon Harrison's prayers to your family, Precious, for sure. Sean McCarthy says, you said this is personal for many of us. So sorry, Precious, Sean McCarthy says. Also apologize. Buddy's having some technical difficulties there. I'm sorry that he keeps coming in and out. We'll get that straightened out. Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that too, and I feel what you're feeling. Like we out here public, so we don't talk about a whole lot, and but sometimes it helps to share a little bit about, like I said, I got some elderly family members now. I'm worried about what their medication is getting ready to. If it's even we're able to even pay for it, even some of these medications are in the hundreds of thousands of dollars per pill type of situation, and it's very very scary.
It
Um,
is.
and I think that maybe if we do that, if we share a little bit about these things with each other, then we all know where we're at, and these are the kind of things too that maybe will move the needle. Maybe will help people. If we can relate to other people that are having some similar problems within their family, and seeing what this means, seeing what their actions for who they voted for and what this means, and how much work needs to happen in order to take care of things. I mean, we're really literally talking about people eating and
Yeah.
staying alive.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that people, like, I mean, I just the people being able to eat. And I just want to give a shout out to, to Black Men United,
Yeah.
for the work that they do. When, before all this happened, I go and I um do the different things with Black Men United, volunteering before all this. Like, this is something that's one organization that's really true and dear to my heart. Raising money for them, putting food in their pantries is something that we've done for over the years. We've always supported them. And so when Chris Rogers called and he was like, Precious, remind me, asking the exact name of Black Men United. And he said, I remember when, like, a few months ago, the city council had allocated funds, and I was very I wasn't upset. I was very disappointed that some of the smaller ones, especially seeing these groups that have been Black Men United do the work. How can they? Why weren't they being supported? And so I literally said to them, like, this is wrong. Like, we have these small, and it's like, oh, well, we give to these groups. I'm like, okay, you give to these groups, but these groups are that we know who are getting funded by big donors. We know the money that they're getting, but these smaller groups, we're not seeing it, and then we have to wait for them to say, oh, well, here, let me give you a little bit of what I have. And so I said that to him, and then when he called me, he said, hey, we have this money, Precious, and we're going to allocate $25,000 to Black Men United. And I literally started crying. I was in my kitchen. I just started crying, and I called Willie Hamilton, and I was like, you're not going to believe this, and this was after, I did the post. Dave Pantel shared my post. He matched it. It was just a good feeling. And Willie was like, I appreciate it so much, because we're going to be able to give those 300 turkeys, those family dinners, to 300 individuals. And then we also, this over the past weekend, we had people bring food to the gala. We said, bring your dry goods into the gala, and we could have like all this food that's in the middle of our office. And so that is going to be split between North Omaha Neighborhood Alliance and SONA. And then so SONA could get, Jose will be able to give to whoever pantry he wants to in South Omaha. And then I will give what we have. I'll give that to Black Men United. And then another call that came in was from Barb Murray with Douglas County. She called and she was like, hey, every department here in Douglas County has, we did a food drive here at our office, and we want to give this all to Black Men United. So this morning, Black Men United will be taking their truck to go pick up everything that was donated in from the Douglas County area, from their office space. And so I'm just, we got to continue to take care of our own and be able to show up. And make sure that we take care of our own, and make sure that people are eating. That went to, all of that is, they do Black Men United, I think, and I don't know anybody else, but I support Black Men United, so I don't know other pantries. I know that we have the Salem Pantry, so I'm thinking about doing something for the Salem Pantry, things that I've been affiliated with. But I know Black Men United gives something to people every day. They have a walk up and everything, so they making sure they service people every day.
That's what's up. Our other partner in that space is Heart Ministry Center, and they have a huge pantry there and helping as well. We've been really encouraging people to donate cash to some of these places instead of gathering a whole lot of food personally, because they already have a distribution system. They're already in the situation where they have worked that out, and donating cash to these to places like Black Men United is what's going to help more than anything else. I'm happy to hear about it too, because when we talk about this in the space, it seems like they raise a bunch of money for all these other pantries. Black Men United gets passed up, so I was very happy to hear that they're getting some money, and we could have a focus on them, because in our neighborhoods, they're the premier. They're one of the premiers out there that are really kind of boost to the roost, putting that work in. So,
and can I say something real quick, Paul? Because I know y'all tell me not to read the chat, but I have to answer this question.
I was going to ask it anyway, so go ahead. No,
so Vaughn had asked a question, and I'm going to read it. It said, "Good morning, Precious. What is your opinion on this statement by Brianna Fool? Can any of the Democrats at the Benson Nelson Gala gloating but not supporting her resolution regarding feeding students?" Let me go and say this. I'm a person where Bree is an elected official. I think that's a broad statement because, number one, say who is not supporting, because we didn't know about the resolution. I just found out about the resolution yesterday. Do I agree with the resolution after someone read it to me and explained to me it would clear $27,000 in meal debt for kids, but then it will also feed kids, if I'm not mistaken, somebody correct me because I have not seen the resolution, would feed kids for a certain period of time.
And wipe out the school lunch debt.
Yes, and wipe out the school lunch debt. So I can't speak on something, Vaughn, that I have never been approached to. I think this is a I think the statement is a subliminal. It's not to all Democrats. It's only to people who possibly are on the school board. I don't know. I'm just going off mine. But I need to know more information. And my thing is, there has been times where elected officials in capacities have come to the party and said, "Hey, I'm not feeling supported by my fellow Dems, or I have this vote." I'll give a prime example. And Ron don't have no problem with me saying this, Ron Hug. He has no problem with me saying this. When they had an issue on the city council where he was voting for the homeless campaign, he agreed with them. It could have just been killed right then and there, but he gave them the opportunity to hold it over. I got calls, and I called him personally and said, "Hey, there's an issue where your Dems are not feeling supported. Why did you do this?" That's what we have to do, and I have no problem with doing that. But again, I don't know about this. I just learned about this yesterday, about the resolution. I was told that it was supposed to be on the agenda on November 17th, and it's been removed. Again, I don't know about it. I didn't know about it until yesterday, I should say. And I will call and ask our fellow Dems on the board to get a clarification of why or what's going on with that. That's what we do as Dems. But again, if I don't know about something, I can't speak on it. But I will. I do want to reach out to the other Dems on the board to get their take on it, because that is, I don't want to just assume. But I mean, I do think that what she is presenting, I'll be honest with you, is something that should be done. Honestly, I support that. I did have a question yesterday: is of those 27,000 kids that have meal debts, I wanted to know this. Of those kids that have debt currently, do those kids not receive food? And then also, how many of those kids, I would love to see a breakdown from each of those districts of each of the members on the board of how many kids that would impact. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see those numbers, because I just want to, just see it. But again, I want to always respect our elected officials. And when this comes up, so she is an elected official. I want to respect what she's asking, and then ask the other elected officials also to get their take on it. But I did see the post yesterday, Vaughn. Someone sent it to me and asked me about it, and I was like, I didn't know about it, but then I started asking more questions about it. So yes, I will be looking into it.
Absolutely, yeah. It was the first I heard about it too when I saw it. So Brianna Fool, if you're listening, you can always come on to the show and amplify it here. I'm sure that you can reach out directly to a lot of the people, Precious included, on any of these things too. So in order to get the word out, and we kind of know that sometimes it's a little tough for people to even concentrate on what it is that's being proposed and remember it in the midst of everything that's going on. And but we'll keep it amplified as much as we can here for you as well. So
We got some And we got great school board members, My girl Kimmer Snipes in the chat. We got good school board members, And I always want to, number one, Kimmer was celebrating her church anniversary yesterday, and she had big things going. So I was like, I'm not gonna call Kimmer on no Sunday to ask her a question about, that I can wait till Monday, But people are doing the work, and as I've been able to, spend more time with Kimmer, talk to Kimmer more about different things, and I say to people, you gotta put some respect on everybody's title who's doing this, because education is big, and I've seen a lot of people really start to look into the education. They really start to, like, you have to be looking into your kids' education and the people who are basically representing your voice. And we have some great members on there, and I really appreciate that, And so I want to be respectful to Beeee, because hey, she is a young voice. She has a right to feel the way she feels. She has a right to say, hey, I'm looking at this because, number one, she's always talked about this. She's always talked about her background. Of where she's come from and where she's gotten to, and I have nothing but respect for that, And so I know she is fighting for the babies, and so definitely want to make sure that her voice is heard and that she has that support that's needed.
That's what's up. Appreciate that very much. 8:35 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we're here with Precious McKesson, who is actively right now reading the chat, as he is not supposed to do. I'm just playing.
No, Linda just put something in there, and I'm like, what?
I'm playing with you. I am totally playing. Yeah, this is a good comment. It looks like she says, I know where I live, I owe lunch money over $3. They'll tell my kids they can't get seconds, saying things in front of the whole lunch line, trying to embarrass the babies. School lunch is killing me. We are going to go back to sack lunches at this point. Yeah, man, shout out to Linda, who's our first time fan now. And in particular the school district that she's in, and these babies of color. And I can imagine how they're getting treated over here when it comes to that kind of, as soon as any little thing happens like that, over $3.
Yeah.
Hot mess.
We live in a world where people when you start to use food as leverage over kids, I got a problem with you. Because let me tell you something. I remember I used to tell my daughter this, and I tell my nephews this. I'll give this example. Last I saw my nephew, and my nephew, he got into a little trouble, but he gonna be okay. And so he's at his other grandma's house because I think they thought he was being able to live the good life over here. Because he's with his dad, he's getting, whatever I wanted to buy him, snacks and all this stuff. And so now he's with his grandma. So yesterday when I saw him for the first time, and since he left, he gave me the biggest hug. And he's like, man, TT. So Taylor goes, well, how you eating? He said, TT, noodles and bean burritos.
Ooh.
He said, TT, I barely have juices. I said, man. And so I said, well, I'll get you an order of stuff.
Suffering.
But I know that these kids, in order for them to be successful in school, they have to have healthy foods. And I'm a firm believer. I don't care who it is. You never take food from a child. A child should be able to have what they need to be able to feel healthy. And I'm big on that. I'm a kid that grew up on food stamps. My mom rationed out her food stamps according to, so she knew she had at least $60 to $100 maybe a month at the end of the month for that last couple of weeks to feed her 3 kids. And then we went to Big Mama house on Sunday, and we knew we was going over to get a good meal. My grandma she was a housekeeper. She didn't make much money, but she made sure our family got to eat. So I mean, that's something that I'm big on, and I always advocate for our kids and our families being able to feed. Like, I just can't play that. I just don't like that. And I have an aunt that works in school cafeteria. I'm not gonna say who mine is. She don't have the same last name as me, so you can't go try to get her. I tell you, she literally will tell me, I be loading them babies' plates up.
I got an aunt that does the same thing. The lunch lady, she be sneaking all kinds of stuff. Yep.
She's like, I ain't throwing away nothing. I'm loading them baby plates up. So I ain't gonna tell you what school she at, but let me tell you, if they at this school, them babies eating good, because my auntie don't play. Man, she ain't throwing away nothing. They come back for thirds, they gonna get it, and they gonna see her. And if they see her, I seen them. We was at the grocery store a couple of weeks ago. I took her, and one of the kids came over and gave her a big hug. And she was like, hey, I said, so this one of the kids you got? She said, yeah, they're one of my babies. So just know, We need some more big mamas in these school kitchens.
Man,
For real. We need more big mamas in general.
man, period.
But now that we on it, can we talk about this weekend? I don't want to leave on a bad note.
I was hoping you had something to leave us on a good note. Tell us about what's happening this weekend.
Well, this what happened this past weekend.
Oh, past weekend, right?
I mean, it was a good weekend. First, I'm gonna start with Thursday. You know, we had our annual Big Blue weekend, and it was a really good weekend. First, we started on Thursday where we had Officer Harry Dunn, which I keep looking at my phone because this is him texting me because his flight keeps getting delayed, so we gotta get him to the airport soon.
Impact.
But we had Thursday we had the Black Caucus hosted an event down at Noma. One thing about y'all, I want y'all to know, anything that I'm a part of, it's gonna be blackity black. We gonna put our money back into the community, okay?
Heard that.
That
So man, I missed that Noma show.
Yep, we had it at Noma. They chose Fair Deal Cafe to do the catering, so it was some good food down there. They did a charcuterie board. They had some great speakers. Kimra spoke. Justin was the MC. Senator McKinney, Senator Roundtree, Lavanya Goodwin. Who else? Oh, I spoke. It was a all around great moment. Kimra, I mean, they did. It was really awesome. Packed house. They raised some good money to be able to go toward candidates. It was highlighted by Kentucky because they were here. The Kentucky news was here because they were following Bashir, so they came to the Black Caucus event first.
Wow.
So got some national attention. We also had one of the DNC members from the Black Caucus. Leadership was here. It was really nice. We had a representation. You know, I love my fellow brothers and sisters from across the nation who came in. We had the vice chair of Andre Williams from Ohio, black man, he came in. We had the Kentucky chair, black man, he came in. We had Michelle, she used to work for Act Blue, but she now works for Bright Blue Ink, who does like a lot of our printing and stuff. She was there. We had the CEO of Act Blue, Regina Wallace Jones, a black woman. She was here. It was a good event.
It's a black and blue event.
Huh?
A black and blue event. Huh?
Yes. And so President Biden came in, as well as Governor Bashir. You know, I'll be honest with you. I know people have their views. I'm not worried about people's views. I'm thinking about what I have done and the work that I've done and the honor I've had to work with this man who was given over 60 years of his life to service. I know the things that happened, but it was just a beautiful thing to be able to be with him. It was one moment when he grabbed my hand. And he's like, "You did it, kid." And I'm like, "Oh, thank you." And I'm so nervous. But yeah, it was a really good event. We raised over $20,000 for Candidates of Color Fund. Nice. That was the highlight of my night, I will say. Shout out to Jose Flores because we had a secret. I told him, I said, "Play my theme music," and he played "Not Like Us." Nice. When I was doing the live fundraiser. President Biden gave some money. I was hitting them all up. I told him, I said, "We're not stopping." I had a goal of 8,000 and we got to 20,000, over 20,000.
Wow.
So nice. That money will be used to our candidates of color who are running for office. That fund is for them. We will look at once they apply, we'll do the first round in January for the primary. Well, I know, and I'm sorry, not in January. We'll do it after the cutoff for whoever files for office. Once that's done, then we'll go into it, and then whoever goes to the general, they'll get more money in the general. But overall, it was a great night. I have to shout out. I had DJ Mr. Soul did our after party. Dreamy Display. So you talking about this is black. Dreamy Displays did our backdrop, and she's so beautiful with her work. Connie Jones did our VIP. She did the eucalyptus bath steamers. So there's little blue dots. Those are in all the VIP bags. We use Maria with Bell merch. Alpha and South used her. She did our pens, our notebooks, and our little bags. So we use small businesses for everything that we did. We have the LOL box by Ariel. She was out there with her with that LOL box, and that's how the theme came about. Jane saw that LOL box and was so bright and said she wanted to do it. So the theme was diversity, diverse, strong, and ready. And then we used a Hispanic store. I think it's called Azteca. I think Guillermo's in the chat. Make sure I do it. Azteca Market. They have these little ceramic donkeys. They're all handmade by a gentleman in Mexico. we used those as our centerpieces. So we used businesses across the state, small businesses, to be able to do our event. And then I had the two photographers, Travis Mountain and Chad Aliath, who did our photography, and then BCom. So it was really and then shout out to Pamela Duncan. She did our ASL. Like we had her there, So I used a lot of small businesses to be able to do this. So I'm really excited, y'all.
I love that.
A great event, and I appreciate everybody that supported it. We had over 620 in the ballroom, and then we had an overflow of over 200 in the overflow, which they went into the overflow after we got done.
Wow.
Nice turnout.
Good turnout. Yeah. Love that. Yeah, we saw the pictures. We were definitely happy to see what was going on there, and just the excitement that people have for what's happening. And I think it was especially on the heels of that sweep that just happened last week. We don't really have enough time to talk about it now, but I kind of wanted to hear from you a little bit about what you think is going to happen. The significant thing that happened with Mamdani in New York. And what does that mean that we have a brother who has that background? What kind of changes could we expect? Maybe we can have you back on and talk about some of that stuff too.
Yeah, well, definitely. I have to really, really, really look into his race, but he did a hell of a job. Let me tell you. He was everywhere. He had Wu-Tang. He was everywhere.
Yeah.
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 I was like, it was like, the videos and you know what? He's not scared. And I think that's the problem. People scared that he's not scared. He's not scared to say what he's going to say. And I like that. I love that about him. Say what you say.
Right.
Do what you say.
That's real.
And I was watching, and I'll say this, and I know Anthony's in here somewhere. I ain't gonna lie. I noticed that Hakeem Jeffries didn't mention him in none of his free speeches afterwards. Let me tell you. He said, yeah, we have big wins in Mississippi. He named everybody, but he didn't name New York. I ain't gonna lie. I peeped that interviews afterwards. But hey, they said change comes.
Well, what was impressive to me was the fact that all them billionaires put all that money in, and they couldn't do nothing about it. And if that's not
a write-off at this point,
right? And if that's not, he said it's a write-off. And if that's not a testimony to the power of the vote, then I don't know what is. If the billionaires can't come in and do nothing, you know what I'm saying? So appreciate you. You was looking beautiful in the green dress. Yeah, the old Joe hanging with you. I love it. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate we've been hanging with you for a minute, and when you close to when you got started, you got already gotten started by the time I met you, but the trajectory here and what you're doing, and we keep up with you, and we watch what you got going on, and we appreciate you. We appreciate you coming on and prefacing everything with "This is me, Precious McKesson, saying what I'm saying now," and all the stuff that because you could easily come on here and just tell us what the Democratic Party is saying, but we appreciate you getting personal and letting us know how you feel. And it makes a difference. We have somebody who's in your position in our community.
One thing, I'm going to always do my job, and I don't think I've been on here since I've taken over as ASDC ED president, but I'm always going to do my job. But at the end of the day, Precious is going to be Precious, and Precious is going to tell y'all how I feel. I'm not going to conform because they say, oh no, you need to say this or you need to say this, but I'm also not going to speak out of turn on something that I don't know or that I don't. I gotta feel it. I gotta be able to say this is me, and before I speak on something, because at the end of the day, I know what I have here, and so I know there's times when a lot of actors say, "Well, you're not speaking on this." Not saying I don't care. I just have to deal with what's going on in my backyard and what's going on for the people that I can impact faster. Because at the end of the day, there's people around this country who don't know who Precious McKesson is. But there's people in Nebraska who know who Precious McKesson is and know what she's going to do and what she can do for people in Nebraska. And that's what I have to do. There's bigger people than me that can fight the bigger fight. I need to be fighting the fight for the people who are here in this state and being able to show up and make sure that they're taken care of. And so that's why you don't see me talk a lot about them things on national politics, on certain things, because I just be like, I don't feel like and maybe it's wrong for me to think. I don't feel like I don't matter that voice, because I feel like there's more people ahead of me who have that voice. And so I just want to be able to do the things that we need to be done here in Nebraska. And on the other, I just want to fight here.
Well, first of all, I got to say I don't see it that way. So speak up because you do have a voice. I mean, we see people that's doing way less work than you speaking up nationally.
And I speak up, I do, but then sometimes y'all don't say I go in these rooms and the first thing they be like, this black girl from Nebraska thinks she knows what she's talking about. And I'm like, well, actually, I do know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But I always want to be respectful and just kind of, I know my lane. I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
I know that. And I am not one to shy away from it. I don't know everything. I will research things. I need to make sure I'm comfortable before I speak about something because I don't never want to be out here looking stupid. You'll never catch that one.
That was the other thing I was going to say about you. We've watched you hold off on saying something till you went and did the research, and you're known for that as well. So we just appreciate the way you do things and who you are as a person. Very sorry to hear about your brother, and my prayers and love goes out to the family, and anything that we can do to help, let us know. And
he's gonna be okay. I'm glad we caught it in the time that we caught it. He knows his body. And yesterday he said, I'm not feeling good. I want to go. And when they came back and they said, yeah, he has it. And I'm glad he did go because I don't know what could have happened, but we have 7 days now he has to stay in for at least 7 days of antibiotics to get that cleared up. And so, it's sad because I think of all the stories I've heard of people who have pneumonia and stuff. And so, yeah, but I appreciate y'all all. I got to go get Harry. Even though his flight is delayed, he still wants to go to the airport early. All right, dude, I'm going to take you to the airport early.
Sounds good. Appreciate you coming by. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you. I'll have a good one. Thanks for those information, Anthony. I see it in there because I know it's coming. Bye, y'all.
Love you, Precious. See
Love
you
y'all
later.
too.
Peace.
Man.
Always a pleasure to talk to her, man.
Yeah. And kind of thanks for holding it down. Of course, having some technical difficulties. But we back. So yeah, thank you.
We are, and now that we're back, we're gonna take a break and then come back again. So stay tuned. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
His name is Paul B. He's buddy to Gawd, and it's cold outside, y'all. So I'm gonna take us right near the beach. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Quite the eventful weekend. Lots that happened. Kimmer, we didn't even get to speak to you about the AME Church's anniversary. Over 100 years. How would you say it was 130 years? Older than Nebraska itself.
That part.
That was also something that went down. I appreciate it. Appreciate everybody who's jumping in, man. I see Anthony Rogers Wright giving some information. Appreciate you. And everybody who jumped in here too. Shout out to Linda who was also talking about some stuff that goes on with her personally. Testimony. It's a day of testimonies, of personal testimonies. We're a fam here at First Sky Omaha. The Chad Chimers are family, and that's the one advantage that we have about doing the show the way we do it, where we can all kind of speak to each other personally about some things, and then when we get off of here, sometimes we'll call each other and, hey, what do you need? What can we do? Or I need this, help me out. Whatever it is that we need to talk about, we can do that with us being able to build this community and family over time the way we have. So a shout out to everybody who's here doing that. I appreciate everybody who's in the chat. There's only about 7 minutes left in the show. And man, just kind of feeling it right now. Just really feeling it. We had news articles we were going to talk about. What we were talking about. We're actively talking about what's going on here with the shutdown, with the benefits, with what the Democrats just did, with the ability to take the leverage away from the discussion about healthcare getting worse. And people in our own personal families that are having some issues, and we're very, very worried. It's one thing to be worried about food. That's enough of a worry, even though, ask your black friends, because we've been dealing with food scarcity for a long time, and we figured some things out. And it just hit me about how unconcerned I was about that. We will figure out how to get us all fed.
Yeah.
Can't figure out how to get us all well.
That's a whole different thing.
We can't go to Big Mama's house and then find some penicillin or whatever it is we might need in the closet, in the cabinet. She can't whip up a batch of amoxicillin. If we in trouble, we got to depend on this medical industrial complex. Christy Noor, we are so screwed when it comes to healthcare now.
Yep. Really worried about it.
So that is kind of set the tone for me on this Monday. Especially it's getting cold out here in Nebraska. I'm definitely going to be making sure that I call friends and family members and just try to get on top of some things. It might help to get a list. I did this when I was out in Vegas with Pops, man. Get a list of medications. If you happen to be on a couple of them, know what they are. Know what each other's are as well. Just kind of keeping in mind, because you never know. I saw a podcast about a guy who started a business where he's doing all this cross-referencing when it comes to medications, because nobody's really doing studies on how certain medications take care of other problems, that they're unintended problems. In the same kind of way, the one example that I can use about this is Viagra. They made Viagra to be a blood pressure medication, and it turned out to help erectile dysfunction and all this other stuff, and that's now how they sell it, but it wasn't made for that. There's a lot of medications out there that are made for one thing, and Ozempic is another example, made for one thing and helps another thing. So he's going on a journey to try to find other medications that can solve other problems as well, because there's billions of medications out there, it seems like, and we haven't even tested them all for everything that's going on with us. Another thought I have too. I grew up in California, bro, and if the medication got too expensive, we rolled down to Mexico and picked that penicillin right on up. Came on back in the States. So who's who's getting medication from Canada right now in the chat? Who's flying to other countries? At one point, it was cheaper for me to fly to Paris to go to my dentist in Paris than it was for me to go to the dentist down the street, because a plane ticket and 400 euros was cheaper than the $2,000 I had to spend down the street at the dentist. I mean,
it's a slippery slope. It's definitely a slippery slope. You can't even go up to the Omaha reservation and get a joint without, getting threatened to go to jail. You talking about going to another country to get some medicine? Man, you can't even go to another state to get an abortion without going to jail. Talk about going to another country to get medicine?
People been doing it. I know. I remember people back in the aughts that was getting packages from Canada.
Man, what was that Matthew McConaughey film where he was selling the AIDS and HIV medication? He was
Dallas Buyers Club or something.
Yeah.
That was a cold movie.
The same point. And kind of had the tech difficulties, but during that point, when Precious, kind of got into it during that conversation, one thing did come in mind. And to your point, like when it was just the food, we can figure out how to feed each other. We can, it's the winter, but things heat back up. We can grow food, we can find food, we can source for farmers.
Sure.
When it comes to healthcare, you can't practice medicine to a certain point without a license. Like right. It's not, anybody can't just do that to a certain point. Like especially if you have, there might be herbs and old recipes that grandma might have and concoctions and hot toddies, and there's things that we can do to help with our healthcare. But if you break a limb, if you need a surgery, if you actually need a doctor and actual healthcare, then we are stuck.
And we all do. There's not anything that is if you don't need it right this minute, you're lucky right this minute. We all need it and gonna need it. And if we don't, somebody in the family gonna need it immediately. Like Precious was saying in the interview, kids are gonna be suffering and not being able to get the medications and stuff they need. Yeah, RG. I was gonna say that. Don't knock homeopathic remedies and stuff like that. But we have to have a combination of homeopathic remedies and medical remedies, scientific remedies as well. And that's just what it is. That's the real leverage. Like she was saying too, man. You got to think about the majority of the people that are on SNAP that get SNAP benefits. The majority of the people that get SNAP benefits are mostly white folks in this country that are suffering there. So when I think about what they're trying to do to make somebody suffer and use some leverage, what they're really doing is holding out on the healthcare situation. That's what is behind the scenes on all the rest of that. Look at how everybody kicked in with the food. That's taken care of, is in a way. But when it comes to those things, tough. I just Christy Norris said One World and Charles Drew offer income based care. They're limited.
Right.
But I will say I appreciate you reminding us about that, because I just spoke to some family members that have insurance, because their premium went up on something. Suggested they go to One World because they can get the same care or the same treatment or the same recommendation for medication for a cheaper price on a sliding scale. So I just made that recommendation to somebody the other day who has insurance. You might still want to go to the clinic. I personally don't have health insurance. I absolutely go to One World when something's up with me. And it feels shaky because of it's limited. There's not a lot of resources they have over there compared to how many people need help.
That part. And then you take into account the cliff effect, which people who will fall in that to where they do actually make too much money for the income based situations, where it's people that they have to serve. Charles Drews and One Worlds of the world have to serve people making $36,000 and $40,000 a year. You come in making $70,000, $80,000 a year, they're gonna look at you like, there's a long line. But again, is that enough to pay for $1,000 premiums and $2,500 rent for your one bedroom?
Chrissy North says, "Yeah, y'all. As a nurse, I am devastated by this." Chrissy Nora, I appreciate you coming in. I know that you have your launch for what you're running here pretty soon as well. I lost your flyer. I'm sorry. Send that back to me. Let people know what you're running for. And I appreciate that. I didn't really even recognize that you were a nurse as well. So we got a medical professional in the Chat Chimers Club as well. So I appreciate you. Machine Miller Jenkins is kind of summing up what I'm feeling. We are experiencing modern warfare, militarizing the police, terrorizing the citizens, starvation tactics and propaganda deployed, removal of access to health care. This is civil war.
I mean, all the efforts and initiatives and activities we're talking about are definitely activities that you will see during wartime.
I mean, it's happening in Israel, Gaza.
Man,
actually happening in wartime right this minute.
Man, I mean, how far away are we from people having to set up tents for healthcare?
Linda Lathan in the chat. We'll get out of here with this. This is after 9 already. She says, speaking of insurance and them changing the cost, move your money to savings or pull it out of your insurance. Comes out automatically. Imagine your insurance doubling and it darn near cleaning out your account right before the holidays. Be mindful of your auto withdrawals. They aren't going to warn you. Ask me how I know. Lord. Yeah, thank you for the reminder. I'm absolutely. I need to go. I need to check my auto withdrawals anyway. Like when they pull that money out, sometimes I'm surprised. Like, what? Wait a minute. I thought it was this amount. Why is it double? Why is it? Got to ask these questions and keep track on that for real, because it's all a gambit. It's crazy. It's really crazy. So I appreciate those tips. Let's all keep these tips in mind. Let's all share these tips with each other. And check in with each other, live alive with one another, and let's put our brains to this. What can we do? What can we do? The healthcare is going to be is right this minute a very serious issue for everyone, and along with the food, along with everything that's happening, like you said, we're in this. I mean, it feels like a war we're in. She says war is named until after it's over. What do you think they'll call this war? That's a good question. But we are definitely in it, need to do something about it. So we appreciate you guys joining us today. We're sorry. We usually don't like try to send us off with the week with some positive.
Yeah.
But you know, the best I can do is say let's put our big brains to use in here and maybe come up with some boost to the roof solutions and some things that we can think of and some ways that we and think back in time when how did we get by before when we had how did we survive with no medical you know all the things that you can, like I said, ask your black friends, because we had to deal with every point of survival in this country.
Yeah, talked about how my school started. The only black hospital in Florida. The whole state of Florida. And one black hospital. Can figure it out.
Wild. Appreciate it, buddy. You got some words for the people?
We all we got, but it's enough. Yeah, there's nurses in our community. There are people in our community. Mutual aid. Maggie Miller Jenkins in the chat. Mutual aid, mutual aid, mutual aid. I think that's the word. I've asked many times on this show, just out of just sheer frustration, but it's a valid question. What are we doing in this country? What is the point of our government? Why are we paying taxes? Like, what is real? Like, we have to ask these critical questions. And now I'm hearing reports of, even if they do open up the snaps, there is no money. Like, where's the money? Where's our money?
There you go. Look out for our email, Majid. We're gonna have you on. We can talk more about mutual aid. I'm looking at some dates this week that we might be able to get you on if you're so inclined. So we'll talk about it. Anthony Rogers Wright says we need our own pickleball league, the Black Paddles.
Okay.
Hey, why not, bro? Everything else is absurd. Appreciate you, Anthony Rogers Wright. Pops, awesome show as always. Thanks for the enlightenment, and see you all on Wednesday. Much love, First Sky fan. Appreciate you, Pops. Appreciate all of you. Shout out to the Maha Tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Also, shout out to Marlon Harrison that is putting things in Friends of First Sky Omaha about a lot of the tribes. He just dropped something about the Winnebago tribe with some facts that I didn't know about, and I appreciate that very much. Winnebago tribe is the tribe to look at. They go by Ho Chunk, and Ho Chunk has been doing some work, and a lot of the other tribes are looking to them for as an example of some things, and we can too in our community look at some things that we can mimic when it comes to some of the work they're doing. So shout out to Ho Chunk and the Winnebago tribe. Shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before you. Really appreciate you allowing us to kind of represent and speak up. And we hope that we are giving you the space that you need to be able to give us the wisdom as well, not just the space, but the respect. And also want to give some respect and a shout out to the chat chimers allowing us to speak with you on these subjects. Thank you for your input, for your great comments, your great questions, your respect for our guests, and your continued, your the way that you keep coming back, and having these discussions on an ongoing basis. Not just one-offs, but continued conversation to try to really tackle these complex issues and get to some solutions and some action. So we appreciate all of you.
That's what it's about.
There it is. We're going to get out of here. You guys take it easy. We'll see you Wednesday. Take care of yourselves. Keep the heat on, like they say in Minneapolis. Cold outside. Take care, y'all. Peace.
By the way, Vanguard. This is protected by the red, the black, and the green.